What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me for another video. It's your host, Crypto Glenn. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may be watching this. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with me, and I appreciate it. I wanted to touch base here and just talk briefly about what Bitcoin's doing right now. I know the price action has a lot of people excited. It has a lot of people thinking that we may, in fact, be coming out of this miniature bear market that we seem to have been in. And before you guys know my stance on everything, before we get excited and start thinking one way or the other, let's look at all the necessary variables to come up with a pretty much a more sound answer to give us a better idea of what's going on. So you guys know that whenever we can, I like looking at things in a very holistic manner. I just want to bring light here to a tweet that I had mentioned prior to us falling below to this 37,000 mark that we're at now, and I said we know where this is going. Straight up means it's going to get top heavy and fall Bitcoin, and here we were at 40,000 and currently we are at 37.3. so this was a nice just under full $3,000 swing. At one point in time it was a $4,000 swing. So yeah, just knowing that and knowing how to read the tea leaves, if you will, this was a pretty nice short if you decided to take it. So where is Bitcoin going? What is it doing? What was a catalyst for it going up to 40,000? Well, a lot of people think it may have been the rumor, and as it stands right now, it's just a rumor, and this could be a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of situation, with Amazon an insider hinting that Amazon by the end of this year is going to make the announcement that they are in fact accepting crypto. Now, here's one of the things about our market that doesn't make sense. When we got word that the country in Latin America was getting ready to basically make Bitcoin legal tender, that was factual. That really should have moved the market more than it did, for longer than it did. But if in fact this rumor that Amazon is getting ready to accept crypto had anything to do with it, it looks like this has had somewhat of a more severe impact on the price of Bitcoin. At least it did early in the afternoon or late yesterday when the news came out. The other reason that Bitcoin is probably going through the price appreciation that it was going through is that there was a tremendous short squeeze that took place on a lot of exchanges. I've said many times that there's probably some benefit to being a contrarian. I know there were a lot of people out there that were thinking that Bitcoin was still in a bull market, despite what the technical analysis was telling us and all these indicators were telling us. It was still very much in a bull market, and the price up until recently said no, we're very much in a bear market. And so the overall sentiment of the market was beginning to change, and people started taking out shorts, and then a short squeeze happened, basically causing mass liquidations. And whenever you have or are on the precipice, you could go either way, of major price appreciation or price swings to the downside, you have to have a liquidity event. So all those shorts getting liquidated was in fact the same liquidity event. So we've got a rumor, we've got a short squeeze that happened, both contributing to the price action that we see here in Bitcoin. So where are we going next, right? So right now here on the Starch RSI, we're still pretty much overbought here on the traditional RSI. We're coming back down into a respectable territory, and this is just on the daily. If we're looking at here on the 4 hour, both of these metrics are pretty much crashing hard. And this is what's going to give us an idea. And we want to try and compound this with as many tools as we can to give us an understanding, well, what could possibly happen. So right now, obviously, we had pretty significant volume pushing us up to 40, but then what happened? The same thing that always happens whenever we start to see these moves. We don't have significant volume to keep up that price action. So of course you're going to fall, and that's what's happening here. Right? I mean, look at this stark drop off here. I mean, this is a taper is fine, but this is like up and, down, which is, again, kind of what I was saying would happen on Twitter. So that's what the technicals are telling us. It went up, it came back down. It went up, it came back down. It went up, it came back down. So in order for us to get a better understanding of what could really be going on here, let's take a look at some on-chain metrics. And this is information that's over on Glassnode. If you have a membership to Glassnode, you can definitely check this out. If not, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, Crypto Glenn. We're always going over Glassnode information. So here we're actually looking at the hash rate. And what the hash rate for Bitcoin specifically represents is essentially the security of the network. How many miners are online trying to solve those complex algorithms? And what we see here is right now we're kind of at a little bit of a low. This is just yesterday. Give me just a second here. So this is 100 trillion. So this represents 104 trillion in terms of the hash rate. Where we were at when Bitcoin was at its highest, where we at 63, I think that's about as close we're going to be able to get it. That hash rate was at 163 trillion, and we're at 104 trillion. So we're off by quite a ways. What this tells me is, when that event happened in China, where all the miners were forced to basically uproot and find a new location to go to, many of those miners have not ultimately gotten to where they're going. So a lot of those miners still are not online. So that's probably one of the reasons why the hash rate is as low as it is right now. So without a strong hash rate, historically speaking, strong hash rates normally correlate to a pretty significant price in Bitcoin, or at least they can. That's not always the case, right? I mean, certainly that's not the case here. You had a pretty significant hash rate, but the price of Bitcoin was low, all right? So this is just one tool that we use. Okay, let's take a look here at the number of transfers from exchanges. So what this means is this is people who are taking money or taking Bitcoin off of exchanges. This is normally a sign that's indicative when people feel that there's going to be significant Bitcoin price appreciation. They want to pull that Bitcoin off the exchange for security reasons. They want to put it into long-term storage wallets. Okay, but what do we see here? So look, this is 15,000. See if we can get a good reference point for where we were at. 62. That's probably going to be the best we're going to be able to get at 62. Number of Bitcoin being taken off exchanges was around 79,000. Call it 80,000 to be the nice round number. And as a couple of days ago, it was just under 38,000. If this number was higher, to me, that would probably signify that more people felt that a stronger price in Bitcoin was coming. I mean, you can see the correlation here. Price of Bitcoin, number of Bitcoin being taken off exchanges. When the number of Bitcoin being taken off exchanges is high, the price of Bitcoin is a bit higher. Next, we're going to take a look at volume to exchanges. When people feel that, the price is going to tank or the price is going to go to the downside, people move their assets onto exchanges to try to get ready to hit that sell button. What I'm seeing here is things are pretty much low across the board. So this chart in specific tells me that there's probably, some indecision here. It's not really going one way or the other. I mean, it's low, but it's pretty much got a nice mean low across the range here. Let's see, a couple days ago it was, 23,000 Bitcoin that were being moved to exchanges. So I think between the charts that we have here, what this says is it's probably going to be more significant, or the likelihood is stronger that Bitcoin will probably break to the downside. Now, again, I'm looking here at the technicals on the chart. I'm looking here at the OnChain Metrics from Glassnode. And for the sake of without making the video too long, these are some of the more important ones I feel that are pretty good to look at. Outside of this, we need to look at more variables that could potentially sway the price of Bitcoin. You guys know that I like looking at things from a holistic manner. I like looking at other variables outside of our own market that could have an effect on Bitcoin. In the news today, Janet Yellen is basically urging Congress to raise or suspend the debt limit by August 2nd. In the meantime, she's actually proposed the idea of stopping or halting the sale of bonds in the market. Now, what I would like to see is what kind of effect, if any, does this have on Treasury yields? Let's take a look here. And the reason why I'm looking at Treasury yields is because Treasury yields have been an off-chain metric, if you will. Whenever the yields on treasuries go up, the price of Bitcoin goes down as people will leave Bitcoin and go to cash because it looks like a more attractive investment. So we're going to take a look at this here. And if we get news, it looks like we are getting news, that the yield on the treasury notes is falling, that could potentially be a precursor, almost a leading indicator, if you will, to show that the price of Bitcoin may in fact rebound. So if we're going from 1.7 to 1.1, I mean, that's a pretty significant drop, right? 5/10 of a percentage point, if you will. What I would pay attention to is to see if we stay somewhere within the range that we're at now, And if we can go sideways for a bit and use this as a base to kind of build off of if the news of the yields on Treasury notes goes down, or if we continue to break to the downside. So I'm going to wait to the end of this candle closes, but then I'm also going to be looking at where are our previous levels of support. Now, right off the bat, I can pretty much say that we've got support right back here. It's not a whole lot of support. June 18th. So June of 2021. I'm going to dig into this more. And when I find it, I'm definitely going to update you guys here on Twitter. And if you guys are on Telegram, definitely be sure to follow me here at the 6 Fix. You guys can type that in. You see Crypto Glenn in parentheses. Between this and Twitter, sometimes I go to Twitter first, sometimes I go to Telegram first. So it's probably a good idea to subscribe to both channels. That way you can make sure that you're always in the loop. But I'm going to take a look at this. I'm going to break this down, do some more TA on it, figure out where we could potentially end up. And when I have that information, guys, I'm going to let you know. Like I said, I don't necessarily like that the fact that the volume is tapering off. So personally, I'm looking at we could potentially see more downside price action. Again, as I don't think the basis for us going up in price was pretty significant, pretty stable, pretty substantial. I think it was, FOMO at best. But we'll see. I want to say thank you to the 300 folks who have connected with me on Twitter. I appreciate every single one of you, as well to the almost 700 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you to each and every one of you. If you're seeing this video and you're not subscribed, if you like this content, please do me a favor, hit that sub button. We're definitely trying to get to 1,000 as quickly as we can, and that's not possible without your guys' help. So I appreciate every single one of you for doing that. And also, you can definitely be sure to follow me here on TikTok. This is an awesome platform. I love doing these videos. They're kind of fun. I just dropped a pretty fun one. Is it hype or is it overrated crypto edition? So you can definitely take a look at that. Let's get to 100. Help me get to 100. And then from there, we'll adjust the goal. I want to say thanks to everyone for viewing this video. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. I want to talk to you guys and see what you guys are thinking. Till next time, I'll see you in the next one.